Here we are in Chapter 3, and we're finally able to take user input. Very exciting. I'm going to start my notes for Chapter 3 in the example.java file yet again, file save as, and save them into my notes folder. By now I'm sure you will find it is no surprise that I will also need to update my class name to match my file name. And here I will very quickly fill in what it is. Chapter 3 notes. Valerie. And green. Now I will tell you, we have been lying to you. Thus far, we actually, except for the one lab, you did not actually need an import statement because the system class, which we've been using for system.out.println, is built into the java.lang package, which is automatically imported. But today we're going to be using the scanner class, so you actually will need to import. And as I have said in previous videos, it's a little bit of overkill for us to do the following thing. It's fine to do it, but really the only thing that we're interested in Java Util right now is scanner. So I can just import just that one class for now and save. So at this point I have a blank template, and I want to make sure that it runs because it's always a good sanity check to make sure that you're off to a good start. And so let me just climb inside my notes folder. Oh, I'm actually totally in the wrong place. Okay, and just very quickly compile and run my Chapter 3 file to just make sure that I'm on the right track. Good. Okay, now back to business. So what I'd like to do for this first part is to ask the user's name and ask how old they are, and then maybe tell them how many years they have left until their next milestone birthday, if we consider that your milestone birthdays are once every 10 years, like when you turn 10, 20, 30, and so forth. So usually I like to outline my code in comment form in English, particularly when I'm trying to code and talk at the same time. So here I'm going to put any variables that I need. So just to remind myself, I'm going to put vars, and then I'm going to just have a quick English outline of what I'm going to do. Prompt the user to enter a name. Prompt, and I can actually, maybe I'll just say name and age. And then tell the user how many years are left until the next milestone birthday. Ooh, okay. Now that I have this outline here, I can start filling in these areas. So I don't really need a comment for vars. It just was there to remind myself to put it there. So I'm going to need a string for the username. And I'll need, let's say we'll take an int for the age. And I'm going to initialize it to something that is not possible, just for safety. Then later on in my program, if I noticed that age was -1, I would know that something had happened that was wrong, like I probably had forgotten to ask the user for it. Okay, system.out.println, please enter your name. And then we'll take it in with the scanner. So this is kind of fun. We need a scanner object, which of course I've forgotten to initialize, so let me go do that here. And it doesn't matter what you call it. Often it's called scan, or sometimes KBD for keyboard. KBD equals new scanner. And when you initialize it, it always has to be done like this. New scanner, and in the parentheses, you put in the input stream for system, which is system.in. For now, you're just going to have to memorize it. That's just how you do it. Later on in the course, we'll talk more about new and what it really means and what we're doing here when we say new scanner. But for now, this is how you get a scanner going. And down here, I'll read it in using the scanner. So I'll say my username is equal to kbd.next. Or I could even say next line. to take the whole line in case they enter more than one word, like Marie Antoinette. Okay, then I'll ask this. I could even use their name at this point. I could say system.out.println username. How old are you? Oops. Plus. How old are you? And then I could take in that. Age equals kbd.nextInt. We're not going to explore the scanner bug right now, but we'll talk about it later. Okay, age equals kbd.nextInt. So at this point, I'm supposed to tell the user how many years are left. Before I do that, I might just give myself a little sanity check here and just output these things to make sure that I got them right. So system.out.println, and these are just for debugging purposes. Name is plus username, and age is plus age. Okay, and just a quick run to make sure that I am on the right track here. So this is what I mean by do things one little bit at a time, just to make sure that each piece is right before you go and write the next part. It's going to save you hours of headache and hopefully avoid the pit of despair. Compile it up and run. Valerie, I'm 42 right now. Okay, so far so good. It looks like my input is coming in okay. Finally, I'm going to do a little bit of math and then I will be done. So I'm going to say system.out.println you have how many years left? Let's see. Well, I could do the math right in place here, or I could give it its own variable. But I'll show you what it looks like if I just do it in place. Actually, never mind. We'll do it the other way. You have years left. Years until your next milestone birthday. Okay. This is a really long line. I think I'd like to make it easier to read, and so I'm just going to break my line apart like this. This is totally fine to do in Java. Just make sure I don't break it inside a string or something, but I can do it in other places. Now, I just reference a variable that does not exist, so I'm going to copy that, Command C, and I'm going to put it up here. Int years left equals -1. So I need to figure out how many years are left until the next milestone birthday, which means how many, if I divide their age by 10, how many years are left over, and then subtract that from 10. So for example, if I'm 42, then I would see that I have my age goes perfectly just divided by 10 4 times, and then I have the 2 left over. So that means 10 minus 2 is 8. I have 8 years until my milestone birthday. So once I know my age, I can calculate it here and say years left is equal to my current age mod 10 gives me my remainder. Then I'm going to subtract that from 10. And print, save, and compile. Oh, what have I done? I have forgotten a parenthesis on line 33. Actually, I think I forgot a plus sign. 33. Yep, common error. Glad I made it in front of you. I have to connect string literals like this to variables with plus, and I inevitably leave one out. Okay, let's have that. Okay, give it a whirl. You have 8 years until your next milestone birthday. Perfect. Let's try another one. Okay. I could probably get rid of this now because this is my debugging information, so my last item of business will be to take this away. All done. So again, start with a template like example.java, and then I would start with English, put it in there, just so you have the lay of the land and you have an outline for yourself written in English, and then start filling in with the code afterwards.